Concert tickets to your favorite artist for just 25 bucks. The big sale that's on now. A Texas family says they had to pay out 20 grand to get their furniture back from a moving company. What to watch out for before you move. Credit card secrets that most people don't know about to get lower interest rates, discounts, and some freebies. And how more families are getting care for their aging loved ones without draining their bank accounts. And welcome to Dollars and Cents. I'm your host, Heather Sullivan. Thanks so much for being with us. We have been working to gather some of the best reporting from Fox stations across the country, all to help you cut your costs, save money, and make some really smart money moves. So let's get started. Up first, if you are looking to take in a concert, Live Nation is offering $25 concert tickets to 5,000 shows right now. The lineup includes Alanis Morissette, Janis Jackson, Meghan Trainor, and New Kids on the Block, among many others. Tickets are on sale May 8th through the 14th, and you can find the link on Sullivan Smart Sense on fox26houston.com. Enjoy the show. Let me know how it goes. Well, summer is moving season, and before you book a mover, you really need to see this next investigative report. This is a Texas family that is now out $20,000, which is 3 times the agreed upon fee after moving to Florida, and they say they didn't even get all their stuff. Hannah McKenzie with our Fox station in Orlando investigates.
Relocating from Texas to Florida, the Johnson family starting a new chapter.
This is very much a horror story.
Just not the genre they were hoping for.
This is our sleeping condition right now.
Along with the hardware for their bed, the moving company they hired lost lots of their belongings, expensive clothing, electrical items, and a brand new dirt bike. But Fenoy Johnson says that's not all.
So they loaded all my items, they brought the paperwork to me, and then this is what they say, okay, before we drive off, where's our money? And I'm like, I already paid the full amount. He said, no, that's not what we get paid by you. And they only accepted cash. They would not accept check, no credit cards. I had to give them $7,000 in cash.
Johnson's household items held hostage in the truck by a subcontracted shipping company, so he paid the $7,000. That's after he'd already paid $5,000 to the moving company. His items, promised in 3 days, finally arrived 18 days later. The shipping company then demanded another $7,000 ransom, this time to unload.
What could we do, Hannah? We're at the mercy of them delivering our items. We've paid so much money into it at that point.
This happens all too often, says Spiro Georgiadakis, founder of Good Greek Moving and Storage. Georgiadakis using his experience as a former Miami police officer to warn others.
Do research on the company that you're dealing with. Check out their website, make sure that they have a physical address, and make sure that their licenses are listed on the website.
Red flags to look out for, says Georgiadakis, include companies operating under multiple names, brokerage companies subcontracting jobs, and cash-only operations.
I always recommend electronic payments, especially credit cards. You have recourse either through the credit card company if there's a dispute.
There are also green flags, he says, in-person assessments and a binding quote, a fleet of trucks preferably marked, insurance options, driver background checks and drug testing, and a plan in case of incidents, because accidents can happen.
Rogue movers, unfortunately, likely won't return your phone call, likely will ignore you or deny your claim, even though it's clear that they lost or stole all your goods.
Out close to 20 grand and left with damaged furniture. Johnson has contacted the Florida Attorney General's office, the governor's office, and the Department of Transportation.
I didn't know this could happen in this country.
You can search for registered moving companies online at the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration. And to find complaints on specific companies, the Department of Transportation keeps tabs on that. Head to our website, fox35orlando.com, for links to both of those pages. Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35 News.
Well, U.S. senators from Washington and Texas are now teaming up to tweak the new flight delay and cancellation rule. Texas Senator Ted Cruz and Washington Senator Maria Cantwell are among some other lawmakers who are worried that the new rules forcing airlines to refund customers for canceled or significantly delayed flights may not go far enough to protect you. So here's the argument. If you booked, let's say, a $200 flight and it's canceled, you'll be refunded that money automatically. But they point out that replacement flights at that point can be more expensive, and that cash back in your pocket may not get you to your destination. So they're pushing for a bill to force airlines to give customers an option to request credits that can be used toward future flights or a refund. The credits would be good for at least 5 years, and we'll keep you posted on what happens. Now, summer travel season is just about here, and if you haven't already planned your next trip, it is time to start looking. According to one travel expert, there's one thing you need to do first before you book rooms, experiences, or even ask for some days off work. He says book your flights first. Kyle Potter with Thrifty Traveler also says when it comes to bundling flights and rental cars and hotels, have your calculator handy.
Before you request dates off from work, before you book a hotel or a cruise or excursions or whatever, you start by looking for flights, because that way, if instead of leaving on a Monday and coming back on a Sunday, you leave on a Tuesday and come back on a Saturday, for example, that is the ticket to saving, domestically $200+ on flights. If you're trying to go to Europe, I mean, that can save you thousands of dollars for a family heading overseas.
And he says you don't want to assume that those travel bundles are always the best deal. We're talking about when you get your flights and rooms and cars all in one bundle. You want to break down the cost for each separately and then take a look at the totals and choose the way that will help you save the most money. Now, Qantas Airways has agreed to pay $79 million in compensation and a fine for selling seats on thousands of canceled flights. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission sued the Sydney-based airline last year for allegedly advertising tickets for more than 8,000 canceled flights. Yes, from May of 2021 through June of 22. About 86,000 customers are affected. A federal court judge has yet to accept the settlement. We'll let you know what happens with that. Well, how do you make a good offer 4 times better? Turns out, you just have to ask. Consumer reporter Steve Noviello has a credit card hack that even he didn't know existed.
I got to tell you, my very first thought was I have got to tell people about this. I've got a few hacks for you, but first I'm going to start with the one that is going to save me a bunch of money right now. So my credit card company has an offer 0% for 18 months, but it's only for new customers, which drives me insane. I've been a customer of yours for 21 years. I've got a huge credit line with you. Why shouldn't I get the benefit of that too? Well, maybe I can. First up, I want you to take a look at this. Here's why I need the money. We've got a big project at the house right now that I've been saving up for, so I do have the cash, but that cash is earning interest at almost 5% in a savings account, so I really want to hold on to it as long as I can by charging the purchase at 0% if I can, and then eventually paying it all off at once before any interest accrues. So I applied for the 0% offer. I got approved. Obviously, it wasn't enough because it's a new account. I called my credit card company to ask them if they would raise the limit and told them what I was trying to do. Well, the agent told me, listen, you don't have to worry about raising the limit. You have the available credit with us. It's just not on the card with the 0% offer. So why don't we do this? Listen closely. Let's shift the credit limit of both cards and combine them onto the card with the better promotion. It's your credit with us. We don't care how you use it or which card it sits on. Now you've got more than what you need at 0% while you still earn 5% on the saved money in cash, and the credit card offer will also pay an additional 1% cash back on the purchase, plus a $200 bonus for using the card at all. I think at this point I owe these people an invitation to come swim in this pool when it's finished. Not a bad deal. Okay, here's what else. The problem with doom scrolling in the middle of the night on the internet is that you think at 50 years old you could pull off a denim varsity jacket. And maybe I could if the fit was a little better, but here's what I can't do. Return it because it was on clearance. Well, it turns out my credit card company will protect me. They have what is called return protection. Read the fine print. The benefit will ask you to document the purchase was made on your card, document the no return policy, and then you send your credit card company back the item. They will refund you and oftentimes even reimburse you for the return shipping. And finally, I know we say read the fine print, that's where they get you, but it's also where they give you, especially if you're using an app to access your credit card account. Go ahead and click that little menu that says deals or rewards. You will be surprised surprised at all the things that you're passing up. I found things like cash back, drop damage, and even loss protection for your digital devices. So the next time you drop your iPhone and crack the screen, it's possible that your credit card company has a plan to pay for the repair for you. Price drop protection also in there. Deals on everything from golfing to the movies. Take a look. You will be surprised at what you have been missing. I'm Steve Noviello. That's my 2 cents. Spend it wisely.
We will. Good tips. And it sounds like there's a pool party in our future. All right, as costs for assisted living and nursing homes have been rising, many families are really having to make some tough choices about care or just have their savings depleted. A report by Reader's Digest found 4 out of 5 middle-class seniors who need long-term care are all expected to end up on Medicaid. And AARP says 44 million households are providing unpaid care at home. But we found more families are turning now to adult daycare for a lower cost option.
Nice to see you again, Art. I'm Cindy.
Cindy, how you doing
I'm
there?
doing well.
Meet Art Gaffney.
I was? Yes. Oh, you got me mixed up with someone else.
Art has Alzheimer's, but he enjoys helping out at Care Partners.
Would you help in the garden?
Yeah.
You help with the lunch programming?
I do all that?
Yes.
And taking art classes with volunteer instructor Dr. Cindy Williams.
It's calming. It's a bit of an escape. It lets you get back into playfulness.
Art's sister, Paulette East, knew the challenges, stress, and fatigue that can come with being an at-home caregiver until she enrolled Art in daycare.
It's that line between sane and insane, insanity. But it has meant so much to me because they have provided me with so many resources and so many different services, and it just helps my overall well-being.
Enrollment at adult or senior daycare centers nationwide has been booming as baby boomers are aging and needing help.
Since we took over the day center in 2022, we've tripled our enrollments.
The National Adult Services Association says the number of adult daycare centers in the U.S. has jumped from 4,600 in 2002 to 7,500 today and is expected to keep climbing. A 2021 Genworth report found the average cost for a month in an assisted living facility is $4,500. For a home health aide is $5,100, but adult daycare costs $1,690 a month. And some daycare centers provide caregivers with education and support as well.
Families bear the brunt of the burden of this work. Over 70% of care provided to individuals with dementia are getting that care from their families. And families are not trained for this work.
Paulette says it's been a game changer for Art.
He's not real talkative with me. When we're in the car, we're at home, we chit-chat. But the moment he gets out of that car, it's like a totally different person. I mean, he walks in, he's laughing and he's joking.
Home run is what he says. Well, adult daycare is considered an interim option. Many seniors may eventually need more full-time care. Financial assistance to pay for all types of senior care is available for those who qualify. So I've put some resources for you. It's all on Sullivan's Smart Sense on Fox26Houston.com. Now, meantime, seniors are being targeted in a new cash to gold scam. Suspects have been arrested near Washington, D.C., accused of scamming an elderly man out of nearly $200,000. Now, fortunately, he's getting that money back, but Fox 5's Homa Bash has this alert.
Guys, I'm happy to say that in this case, police and a family friend actually saved the victim from losing $200,000. The key here, though, is spreading the word and educating seniors.
The victims now have been Bethesda, Silver Spring, Leisure World. They're all over the county.
Here's what State's Attorney John McCarthy and Montgomery County Police want you to know. Elderly victims are being hit over and over again with a wild scam that's conned people out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. The latest case had this man, Ravinkle Mathan, in court today facing charges of theft over $100,000.
The suspect told the victim that he was a federal agent and that his identification had been stolen and that he needed to transfer his money into gold bars to protect his money.
The victim, a man in his late 80s, early 90s, believed the call. He took out his life savings of $200,000 and had it converted into gold bars through a legitimate website, ready to hand over to the suspect posing as a federal agent. But thankfully, a family friend got word of what was happening and alerted police. Undercover cops set up a sting and arrested Mathon, a 26-year-old man claiming to be a German citizen, but with a history of travel in India.
What we're seeing is that we do have suspects who are coming from other countries, and they are able to take these gold bars out of the country. They're able to go through TSA with these gold bars.
And there have been more than a dozen reported victims in Montgomery County alone, including one in March, a 64-year-old woman living at Leisure World who lost $700,000. The suspect in that case, Wen Hui's son, indicted just today on 4 theft charges.
I hope the alarm bells are going off and people that are in the senior community are listening to us.
The reason scammers have switched from asking for straight cash or gift cards is because banks and retailers will alert if someone tries to take out a large sum of money. That's not the case with these gold bullion websites. To them, thousands of dollars in a wire transfer simply looks like a normal transaction. Both of the suspects in these cases are currently being held without bond, and each of these theft charges carries a maximum sentence up to 20 years. State's Attorney John McCarthy telling me that he has been asked by Leisure World to come out there and spread the word, educate seniors. He'll be doing that in the coming weeks.
All right, it is that time of year when many homeowners are receiving appraisals for their property taxes. And this year we have a bit of good news. Nearly half of Harris County homes actually went down in value after spiking the past few years. But whether yours went up or down, there are still ways that you can reduce your tax bill. Take a look.
After property values spiked in the pandemic, the Harris County Appraisal District says a cooling real estate market has lowered values for 47% of homes, while 13% stayed the same and 40% increased.
This year is, I think, more of a return to the normal values that we have experienced in the past.
HCAD simplified valuation letters to help homeowners understand their appraisals and are reminding owners to file a homestead exemption for school district taxes, which lawmakers increased from $40,000 to $100,000.
That makes a big difference in the amount of taxes. That's why we say exemptions are so important, because they can reduce the taxes that you are going to be paying at the end of the year when you get your tax bill.
Homeowners may qualify for other exemptions as well, including those for veterans, surviving spouses, seniors, and people with disabilities.
You just have to kind of look at our website. We have a lot of information on there. It depends where you live.
Homeowners can also protest their appraisal by either hiring a firm or by themselves through the district's online iFile program.
Next step is you could be contacted by the appraisal district for more information, or depending on how you file, if you use something that we call iSettle, then you can upload information when you choose to iSettle.
You'll be notified if it's accepted or rejected. If you don't agree, you can have a formal appraisal review board hearing where you can present visual evidence of your home's condition, such as the roof or foundation, that affect the value.
You can also consult your neighbors and a realtor to get a sense of whether you think your appraisal is fair. The deadline to protest is May 15th, or 30 days from the date on your valuation letter. And I've put links on how to protest for you on Sullivan Smart Sense on fox26houston.com. And take a look at this. You can also still catch HCAD's last workshop on how to file a protest. It's Tuesday, May 14th at 10 a.m. at Harris Central Appraisal District. That's 13013 Northwest Freeway. Well, millennial and Gen Z consumers are more willing to use buy now, pay later financing to cope with the growing costs of goods, according to a new survey. BNPL can be handy, but it can also come with some costs. Jerry Willis with Fox Business breaks it down.
Buying now and paying later has become more popular with younger consumers who use the programs to buy everything from airfare to contact lenses. 3/4 of Gen Zers and 74% of millennials use buy now, pay later programs, which typically stretch payments over 4 installments. Users say the programs are cheaper than credit cards, with revolving credit card interest rates rising 20% and more. But some critics say the rising popularity of BNPL is a sign of increasing financial stress on Americans.
Millions of households still stretched by inflation. Household budgets are tight. They've run down savings. They've run up credit card debt. We're seeing continued growth in things like buy now, pay later plans. And 401k hardship withdrawals have basically doubled from pre-pandemic levels.
But while 77% of users say it reduces their stress, some say that the programs are being used to finance essentials like groceries. And instead of using it to replace credit card debt, it's being used in addition to credit card debt. According to a New York Federal Reserve Bank study, buy now, pay later programs are nearly 3 times as likely to be used by financially fragile households than stable ones. The mean purchase price of financially fragile households is under $250, while financially stable households are more likely to have a mean purchase price between $1,750 and $2,000. The programs are so popular, a variety of companies are jumping into the business. Stalwarts like Affirm and Afterpay are being joined by Klarna and Sezzle. Experts say read the fine print, or you might find yourself paying a fee you didn't expect. In New York, Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
All right, and the Journal of the American Medical Association says about 25%, or $935 billion, is wasted every year on medical costs that are either unnecessary procedures or inefficient systems. So some Rice University students have created this app to help patients understand the healthcare system and to help them save money on their care. It's called the Healthcare Navigator. And here's a look at how it works.
How comfortable you are with quality metrics.
After working in healthcare administration and seeing patients overwhelmed with trying to research doctors, prices, and information on their healthcare, Rice student Kayla Grimes had an idea.
I wanted to build a platform that could really help people.
She and 8 other students created the Healthcare Navigator, an app and website to help patients navigate their healthcare options. It asks questions about your needs, shows you upcoming appointments, and offers tools like Pocket Doc, where users can find local doctors and public data on them from Medicare and Medicaid websites.
They get quality metrics like readmission rates, infection rates, mortality rates, everything that you need to know in order to say, like, okay, I know I can trust this person because of their past performance.
Cost Compass pulls prices for procedures that hospitals are required to publish.
You put in your location, your insurance, and then we give you the prices for that procedure or whatever you put in, so that you can make a more financially healthy decision when you're deciding on where to go for care.
Users can get questions answered through Care Genius AI, learn the ins and outs of the healthcare system, and store information in the app's Care Manager. The students were mentored by the National Patient Advocate Foundation and Rice professors. Dr. Jay Chung believes that this will help patients understand their diagnosis and treatment.
For example, after a surgery, patients may feel more responsibility to actually comply to recommendations that doctors are suggesting, whether that be diet or exercising, even follow-up procedures that patients need to comply to.
Making it extremely simple for the average patient to be able to navigate healthcare and to also just get their power back.
All right, and that's our show. Thanks so much for joining us. Hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, and X. It's all Heather Sullivan, Fox 26. Let me know what's on your mind, any questions that you have. And you'll always find more ways to save on Sullivan Smart Cents on fox26houston.com. And we'll see you next time right here on Dollars and Cents.